Hi everyone. In this video, we'll practice 6 medication dosage calculation problems with oral medications using the ratio proportion method. Let's get started. As a quick review, the ratio and proportion method works by comparing the available medication, what you have, to the desired dose, what is ordered. We set it up like this. A over B equals C over D. A equals the dose on hand. B equals the quantity that contains the dose on hand, C equals the prescribed dose, and D is the unknown quantity, what you're solving for. You cross-multiply the two ratios and solve for the unknown to determine the correct amount of medication to administer. For the first practice problem, the order is ibuprofen 300 milligrams PO every 6 hours. The medication supplied is ibuprofen 100 milligram tablets. How many tablets will you administer? Start by setting up your proportion. The first ratio is the medication supplied, 100 milligrams per 1 tablet. The second ratio is the desired dose, 300 milligrams per X tablet. Now cross-multiply 100 milligrams times X tablet and 300 milligrams times 1 tablet. That results in 100x equals 300. Divide both sides by 100 to solve for x. X equals 3 tablets. Administer 3 tablets. Always review your answer to make sure it makes sense. The reverse method is to multiply the amount to be administered, 3 tablets, by the concentration available, 100 milligrams, which equals the prescribed dosage, 300 milligrams. Let's complete another calculation. The medication ordered is prednisolone 40 milligrams PO daily. The medication supplied is prednisolone 5 milligram tablet. How many tablets should you administer? Set up your proportion. The first ratio is the medication supplied, 5 milligrams per 1 tablet. The second ratio is the desired dose, 40 milligrams per X tablet. Solve for the number of tablets by cross-multiplying, 5 milligrams times X tablets and 40 milligrams times 1 tablet. That results in 5x equals 40. Divide both sides by 5 to solve for x. X equals 8. You would administer 8 tablets. Always review your answer to make sure it makes sense. The reverse method is to multiply the amount to be administered, 8 tablets, by the concentration available, 5 milligrams, which equals the prescribed dosage, 40 milligrams. Let's complete another calculation. The medication order is metformin 1,000 milligrams PO twice a day. The medication supplied is metformin 500 milligram tablets. How much should you administer? Set up your proportion. The first ratio is the medication supplied, 500 milligrams per 1 tablet. The second ratio is the desired dose, 1,000 milligrams per X tablet. Solve for the number of tablets by cross-multiplying. 500 milligrams times X tablets, 1,000 milligrams times 1 tablet. This results in 500x equals 1,000. Divide both sides by 500 to solve for x, and x equals 2. You would administer 2 tablets. Always review your answer to make sure it makes sense. The reverse method is to multiply the amount to be administered, 2 tablets, by the concentration available, 500 milligrams, which equals the prescribed dosage, 1,000 milligrams. Now let's calculate another order. The medication order is lisinopril, 15 milligrams PO daily. The medication supplied is lisinopril 10 milligram tablets. How much should you administer? Set up your proportion. The first ratio is the medication supplied, 10 milligrams per 1 tablet. The second ratio is the desired dose, 15 milligrams per X tablet. Solve for the number of tablets by cross-multiplying, 10 milligrams times X tablets and 15 milligrams times 1 tablet. This results in 10x equals 15. Divide both sides by 10 to solve for x. and X equals 1.5, you would administer 1.5 tablets. Always review your answer to make sure it makes sense. The reverse method is to multiply the amount to be administered, 1.5 tablets, by the concentration available, 10 milligrams, which equals the prescribed dosage, 15 milligrams. Now let's calculate a weight-based order. The medication order is Coumadin, 0.1 milligrams per kilograms, one-time oral dose. The medication supplied is Coumadin 2 milligram tablet, and the patient weighs 70 kilograms. This is a weight-based dose. The desired or prescribed amount is 0.1 milligram per kilogram. You need to calculate the amount of medication to administer based on the patient's weight. The patient weighs 70 kilograms. For every kilogram, the patient should receive 0.1 milligrams of the medication. 70 times 0.1 equals 7 milligrams. The amount of medication ordered based on the weight is 7 milligrams. Now, solve for how many tablets to administer. Set up your proportion. The first ratio is the medication supplied, 2 milligrams per 1 tablet. The second ratio is the desired dose, 7 milligrams per X tablet. Solve for the number of tablets by cross-multiplying, 2 milligrams times X tablets, and 7 milligrams times 1 tablet. This results in 2x equals 7. Divide both sides by 2 to solve for x, and x equals 3.5 tablets. You would administer 3.5 tablets. Always review your answer to make sure it makes sense. The reverse method is to multiply the amount to be administered, 3.5 tablets, by the concentration available, 2 milligrams, which equals the prescribed dose of 7 milligrams. Now let's calculate a weight-based order that requires a conversion. The medication order is amoxicillin, 25 milligrams per kilogram per day, divided every 12 hours. The medication supplied is amoxicillin, 250 milligrams per 5 milliliters of suspension. The patient's weight is 154 pounds. How much should you administer? This is a weight-based order. The order is written as 25 milligrams per kilogram, but the patient's weight is recorded in pounds. You must convert the pounds to kilograms. To complete the conversion, place the weight in pounds as a fraction over 1. 154 pounds over 1. Then you want to multiply that by the conversion factor, which is 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. The pounds cancel out, leaving the weight in kilograms. 154 divided by 2.2 equals 70 kilograms. Now you will use the 70 kilograms when calculating the amount of medication to administer. This prescribed amount is 25 milligrams per kilogram. You need to calculate the amount of medication to administer based on the patient's weight, and the patient weighs 70 kilograms. For every kilogram, the patient should receive 25 milligrams of the medication. 70 times 25 equals 1,750 milligrams. The amount of medication ordered based on the weight is 1,750 milligrams. But the order states that the dose is divided into 2. The dose is administered twice a day. 1,750 divided by 2 is 875 milligrams. The amount of medication ordered per dose administered every 12 hours is 875 milligrams. Now solve for the amount of medication to be administered. Set up your proportion. The first ratio is the medication supplied, 250 milligrams per 5 mLs. The second ratio is the desired dose, 875 milligrams per X mLs. Solve for the amount of mLs by cross-multiplying. 250 milligrams times X, 875 milligrams times 5 milliliters. That results in 250X equals 4375. Divide both sides by 250 to solve for X. X equals 17.5. You would administer 17.5 milliliters of the oral suspension. Always review your answer to make sure it makes sense. The reverse method is to multiply the amount to be administered, 17.5 milliliters, by the concentration available. 50 milligrams based on 250 milligrams divided by 5 milliliters, which equals a prescribed dose of 875 milligrams. Practice makes precision. Keep on practicing to build your confidence. In the next video, you will find practice problems for medications that are injected utilizing the ratio proportion technique for dosage calculations. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, give it a like, share it with your classmates or coworkers, and subscribe for more nursing education content. You can find more videos at nursevideohub.com. Watch, learn, and care.